That's
our luggage.
That's our luggage.
No, watch it.
Now there's sound that goes along with this that can be pretty interesting too, but I don't know if you get the sound.
How many people are on deck and it can't crush?
I don't know.
It wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
It just seems like in operations for the shooters on board. When we go up to the top side, I'll just kind of briefly explain kind of what you're going to see during the launch. And obviously I won't be able to tell you anything about the top side. So please, if you have questions while you're up there, remember them. When you come back in, I'll try to answer whatever you got. But basically, we're in cyclic ops right now, which means that we launch a bunch of planes, set up the deck for recovery, recover them, take a break, and repeat. So when we go up there, they're all going to be setting up for the launch, taxiing planes up to the catapults, getting everything ready. And when the boss up in primary gives us the go-ahead, we start launching them off the front. When that happens, actually as they're coming up forward, they're going to line them up on the cat track. That's V1, that would be a yellow shirt up front, taxiing them forward. You'll see a lot of green shirts running around. All the green shirts up there operate the equipment for the catapults and the resting gear. So as the plane's coming up forward, green shirt's going to be up by the nose wheel, making sure everything looks good, coming into the catapult track. And they get it all set up, ready to go for what we call the hook. That's when the launch bar, which will come down, will be right in front of the shuttle. And the shuttle is what's actually connected to a couple big pistons. Steam pushes on the pistons and throws the aircraft off the end. So they monitor and make sure that hookup is correct for the aircraft before it launches off the end.
when you put the air wing on board, we're up to about, like I said, somewhere between 5,000 and 5,300 people. And that's really what we're designed to do. This is us. Just put the air wing aboard and go out and go forward and fight. So this is kind of what we do. It's an amazing city. We were talking about that up here, but we can do everything that a small city can do. You know, we can fix ourselves, we've got a postal service, we've got medical, dental, supply, everything. The folks that are serving us tonight, thank you very much for doing that. They've served us for all these meals we've done. When we're fully equipped, they're serving on the order of 16,000 to 20,000 meals a day. We spent 2 hours today taking on supplies, just trying to keep food, fresh fruits and vegetables and food on board. And as we were talking about, we took about 200,000 gallons of jet fuel today in the span of about 2 hours to keep our airplanes flying. So an amazing city with the ability to do a lot. Out of that group, so out of the 5,300 people that we roughly have on board, less than about 600 of us are officers. The rest of the sailors on board, so we're talking, over 4,500 of them throughout the ship, live in a berthing that I don't think any of them expected when they got here. So the average sailor who's working 12 to 16 hours a day is living in a rack that's 6.5 feet long by about 2.5 feet wide. Underneath that, they lift their rack up. They have a little bit of a locker underneath. It's about 8 inches deep. They put their stuff in. They have that and a half a gym locker. That is all the space they have. That's what they own on board a ship. And we put them in berthings anywhere. Some of them are nice. They're down 10, 15 people. The big ones are 225.
Is also to get you out here and see what these young Americans are doing. The hard work that they do, the hours that they spend ensuring that this ship leaves from a pier, goes out, does its business, and comes back safely with everybody that we left with. So part of our pitch is also, when you're looking at hiring, as the economy is hopefully slowly getting better, we'd like you to think about our military veterans that are coming out of the Navy, either as young sailors trying to get into college and finding that job, or those of us older guys that are going to be thrown out at 30 years and say, it's been great knowing you. And we have to find second careers, and we want to continue to serve our nation even outside. So think about, when you're hiring people, think about the military veterans that are coming out. And that's kind of what we'd like to leave you with, as a thought of how hard these young Americans are working. And we thank you for coming out here, and we thank you for supporting us, because we know that a lot of the organizations, companies out there support veterans that are out there, from wounded warriors to the veterans that are getting out. So we thank you also for what you do for us.
So far. So this by no means is the last stop of your visit. You have plenty more stops to make. Actually, a little bit later this morning, I'll be taking you up to the ship's bridge. But just do me that favor of helping us do our job and tell the story of the Navy from your perspective, having seen what you've seen out here today.
is commanded from, the course is commanded from, where the captain sits most of the time if we're flying. We're not flying yet, so he's not up here just yet. But this is kind of where it all happens when we're out to sea. This is your chance to kind of get out here and talk to the watch standards, find out what it is they do, where they're from, what their job is. Just take note that some of the watch stations up here that are some of the most important, obviously steering the ship, some of the most youngest for our ship. So you're talking 19, 20 years old steering multi-billion-dollar pieces of property. So just kind of keep that in perspective as you're getting to know them. So please walk around, get to know these sailors, find out what they do, and ask as many questions as you like.
I don't see this type of thing. It must have